Do you smell something? Huh? Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by once again for another Nate watching, aka Nate fan commentary. Today I'm coming at you to regale you with a fan commentary for the film from 1981 by the name of Don't Go in the Woods. And unlike several of the last Nate watchings I've done. This one, because the movie can be so boring, I'm going to actually have chat enabled. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone shows up in chat and contributes and says whatever. Basically, the last, I don't know, 30 minutes of this movie are so boring. I was like, God, I better have chat enabled in case anyone wants to come, stop by and talk about anything whatsoever or whatever. Um, I've got the lovely Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray menu up in the player. I'll start it in a little bit here. Incidentally, the menu here on the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray is really cool. It's just like a loop of just a shot, a shot from the movie where it's just the stream. It's really kind of cool. Guess there's really no reason to wait, so I'll press play film here, and we'll get into it. JBF presents Don't Go in the Woods. Wow, wow, wow. Starring Jack, all these people, and Angie Brown with the box around her name. Wow, 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 wow. I'm laying down. I can't hit all the notes. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Sometimes there's this just for no reason. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Having just seen the director, we now see a very shaky shot of airplane shot of mountains here. I want to say this is in Utah, Colorado. I may be correct, I may not. I don't Okay, so this shot here is panning down. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is from the it's like something, rolled down the hill here and broke all these trees. I don't know if that's from rolling down the VW later on in the movie or what, but um I got a camera just like that. I showcased it in my review, Don't Go in the Woods, that I did in the woods. Now, this woman here is the first victim. There's a couple of chicks in this movie that are actually really hot, and I wish they were in the movie more. This chick's actually kind of hot and got a nice body. I wish she was one of the main characters. I don't know why she's in the movie for all of just a few seconds. She's really kind of hot. I can't imagine it was because she couldn't act, because no one in the movie can act. But here's the first victim about 2 minutes into the movie here. Shaky cam, shaky cam. She falls. Splash. Oh, we got some blood. Okay, now we introduce our first look at the four main campers. Like I say, I don't understand why that chick who just died couldn't have replaced Mary Gale Arts, and they could have just swapped roles, and Mary Gale would already have, her time in the movie already would have come and gone. We're already looking at Mr. Birdwatcher guy here. I forgot how much of these first kind of two kills happened so early on in the movie. This, you know, obviously, I wouldn't imagine anyone's listening to this without having seen the movie before. But obviously, if you're a fan of this movie or know anything about it at all, you know that it's one of the best bad movies ever. And as we see Mr. Birdwatcher man looking around in his, he sees something hit the leaves there. Oh, here, let me do something. Okay. I had the mute on the TV. Okay, so something's gonna something's gonna hit him in the cheek there. This is where the music is just like pounding on the keys. Doot, Wow. Now they're just pounding on the keys on the synthesizer, and he's gonna get shot. Oh! Wow, 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 wow. Can't hit that low note laying down. Peter, we were worried. So one of the saving graces, as we look at the image there, one of the saving graces, probably the best thing about this movie is it's basically more or less, not completely, but more or less, almost entirely filmed in the good old wide outdoors, which is really, especially on Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, it looks absolutely beautiful here. The undergrowth is too thick. Got to move from ridge to ridge, not river to river. What's the third thing, Colonel Crockett? There's Angie Jones with the box around her name. It would have been funny if she would have had a box around her body the whole movie. This is where Craig is telling us never to go in the woods alone. And if you've seen the original poster, you know that the title is actually "Don't Go in the Woods Alone." But if you see the Vestron video VHS, it's just "Don't Go in the Woods." And to be fair, in the opening credits, it just says "Don't Go in the Woods" in the actual movie itself. And Craig knows it all here. Mary Gale Arts, which I don't know why she's a lead in this movie. Oh, it must be her acting. But basically, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I did a showcasing of the Vestron video VHS I have, which made me want to watch the movie, which made me want to do the fan commentary. So I figured before October here, and this can be my last hurrah of September before I start with the Halloween commentaries for at least the first three films. Peter's pretty anxious there, pretty enthusiastic as he jogs up this hill. Oh, it'd be funny to have NECA action figures of these main four camper characters. This is where Angie Brown, I think, is saying something stinks. Rancid. It's really bad over here. So, in case you're wondering why I'm doing the commentary, that's why. One thing led to another. Here's another pretty good shot. It looks like it's kind of a cold breeze here, as Mary Gill Arts asks, "How do you tell the rabid from the unrabid?" I don't understand, why the two lead female characters in this movie have to have short hair. Incidentally, I kind of think Angie Brown would have been a lot more attractive if she actually had more of a, female haircut. She kind of has. If she had longer hair, she'd have a little bit of a, probably a little more attractiveness going on, kind of like whatever the hell the name of that chick was in Weird Science. Her name escapes me right now. Beautiful shot of the woods there, as I were probably hearing like digital wolves. There's several parts in this movie where it was like digital synthesized wolf sounds, which is so hilarious. This movie is oh, here comes Dale, and probably Dale's mother here is a he wants a Dale. Come on, I want to get a shot of the train coming in. Dale. Yeah, I said that line early. Dale in his pink shirt and whatever that thing is. Oh, come on. This is going to be a great shot. Come on. Dale, don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind, Dale. What's so great is there's no train in the movie. They just put a train sound in the movie. And he says, I want to get a shot of the train coming in. Beautiful waterfall footage here. There's a cool, kind of funny joke or trick that James Byron, how do you pronounce his last name? I don't know. The director plays on the audience here where his hand will reach out and it'll be like, "Ah!" and you think he's getting attacked, but he's just reaching for a rock. But I think seconds later he actually does get attacked. So it's just kind of funny how it's just this movie's so absurd. It's just hilarious. But I did watch this like a week ago or something, and as always when I watch it, I'm just, you have fun with the first 30, 45 minutes to an hour of the movie, or maybe not to an hour, maybe the first 45 minutes or 50 minutes, and the last 30 minutes are just that's where he's like, it's a fake out, makes it look like he's dying only to be dying a second later. Uh, uh, Kills, throws Dale's stuff down the hill. And then he shows a waterfall and people playing. Once again, that chick's kind of hot. Put her in the movie as a main star. It's like the hottest chicks in the movie, save for mother here. Oh, uh, 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 are uh, are in it for a very short period of time. There's dead Dale, and the guy here looks like he's like motioning to the camera, like, "Is that's it? We splashed in the water. Now we're getting out of the water." As Peter throws a rock or something. Like I say, great scenery and beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful blue sky scenes in this movie. What's great about, Don't Go in the Woods is it doesn't, well, no, I guess I take that back. I was gonna say it doesn't try at all to do any kind of, standard movie. I don't know. I can't think of the word, moviness stuff, like, any kind of plot, but it does kinda try to do, I guess, a little bit of, by introducing the quote unquote authorities, the fat sheriff guy and the deputy guy and stuff. It does try to do a little bit of what movies normally do by having some kind of semblance of a plot, like, the quote unquote authorities becoming aware of people missing and all this and that. It's a freaking Call of the Wild. Once again, a beautiful shot of just scenery. Here cutting to Center Street is, arguably, in my opinion, some of the least interesting stuff, where we got to introduce the deputy here. And I want to say I've seen him in something else, probably also filmed in Utah, I would imagine. Most of the time, people are, stay in one spot and will just be in a movie if a movie comes through their town or whatever. Yeah, the elements here that they picked are very, ragged, which, you know, I'd probably rather have a ragged version of this on Blu-ray than some kind of perfect looking print with every scratch fixed, because it just adds to the grittiness and trashiness of the movie. But, even though it's got all kinds of scratches and stuff on it, doesn't mean that it isn't wonderfully sharp and the, colors aren't wonderfully colorful and stuff. Don't Go in the Woods, after all, shouldn't look too good, and it doesn't. The presentation right here, seeing that blue wall and the pink no smoking and the smoky there behind this guy. I mean, it's a really the Blu-ray, Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, really walks the fine line. Oh, this guy always freaked me out with his curly hair. The Blu-ray really walks a fine line between being too clear, but not really, because of the quality or lack thereof of the elements are kind of scratched and stuff. We're introducing the tubby ass sheriff here, frustrated that he has to leave his office. Once again, beautiful exterior cabin store thing. I bet you anything, this guy here with the apron on, I bet you he's the real owner. I'm not saying I'm right, but I would, if I had to take a guess, I'd say this is just the proprietor of this establishment. He just came in and asked if they could film here or whatever. Just the way he goes behind that counter, it's just so natural. He's probably done it a billion times because he probably owns the place, but don't quote me. We got Deputy playing a good old pinball game there. Yeah, for my money, if I wouldn't even have the quote unquote authorities characters in this movie if I did this movie. Like, if I did a Nate cut, I'd probably just cut them out because the most boring stuff in the movie is the stuff with the quote unquote authority characters. And I'm speaking about like the last 30 minutes of the movie. Here comes random roller skater that Tubby saves. That looks so safe. Just gonna be one of them summers. As she rolls down the hill, and when she rolls out of the shot, they put a sound effect of her rolling or falling over, which is just a little bit of the director's humor. So I guess as the four campers are hiking and finding their camping spot, I can briefly say my history with this movie. If you don't know, or even if you do know, I first saw Don't Go in the Woods when I was tender age of 14, when the movie was approximately 10 years old. Beautiful dusk shot there. And my life was never the same since. This scene is really goofy. How, we've got the character of, was it Peter, or wait, Craig, I think, is the guy telling the story. Everyone pretty much is in the shot except for the guy telling the story. We've got an autofocus shot of Angie Brown there. Once again, if she had actual female hair, she'd probably be a little more attractive in this movie. Autofocus shot of Mary Gale Arts. I don't know if they did a post production, like zoom in on the film here to, like, maybe they wanted to change the story Craig was telling, and the only way to do that without not having the lips match at all is just to zoom in on the other characters listening and not have the character Craig in the frame at all, because the one telling the story is there. You can see his leg and his sleeve there, but we don't see him. And this is kind of a little bit grainy to where maybe it is zoomed in on the frame. Um, so they could have Craig tell a completely different story. That's all I can think of, because I was always like, why the hell is the storyteller the only one who we don't see in the scene when he's telling the story? And it's so funny how the story is so contrived and just bullshit too. And if they did replace this story in the movie with a worse story, I'd hate to hear that story, or I actually would love to hear it. I'd love to hear something that was actually worse than what's in the final finished film. Oh, that crescent moon reminds that it's going to be a shot of a very quick shot. Just it was a shot of the exterior of the van and Farrah Fawcett on the interior. So someone put a lot of love into the interior of this van, and they just rolled it down the hill. Now we're introducing Dick and Cherry. I don't know if the director intentionally picked one of the, I hate to be mean or whatever, but one of the, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So this particular beholder, his opinion would say that the director may have chosen possibly the least attractive female in the movie to have a male say, "Oh, Cherry, Cherry, you're the most beautiful thing that ever came into my life." Oh my God, what is that? Oh, it's probably just a bear or something, baby. And if you listen to the commentary, I guess the director did the voice for this Dave Carradine guy who worked as a in in Vegas as a whatever. What are those people in, what are they called when they work in a casino? Give me the keys. Give me the keys. Give me the keys. I told you I'd protect you. I just been waiting for the chance to prove it. This gun does all the talking when the peeping toms come around. I ain't afraid of nothing on 2 feet. Be careful, Dick. It's the peeping tom that's got to be careful out here. Yeah. Uh-huh. Come out of there, you jerk, you. Dick. Now she's going to try to shut the doors on the dilapidated VW bus, but she can't get it to work. See, take one, or attempt one, attempt two, she can't do it. So we'll just come on, hey, come on here, you jerk, you. Come on here, you pencil neck geek. Come on. He does look like David Carradine. Wow. Hey out there. I got a gun. I don't know what the line is. Wow. So anyway, obviously this is just a dilapidated, old piece of crap VW bus that they got to roll down the hill and set on fire. But it's a shame because the interior is still so quote unquote beautiful. With the complete with Farrah Fawcett image on the roof in the hearts there. Holy shit. But the van, probably being from the 60s, had a good life. Got just married, spray painted or something on the van. It looks like it was spray painted on the van in the 60s, probably was. Oh, God. As the killer removes a rock from the wheel. And Dick's going to make his appearance at the window. Ugh! Splats blood on the window. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm going to say for the last 30 minutes. Oh. It's funny how the killer removes the wheel only to like push the bus over sideways down the hill, or removes the rock from behind the wheel. There's kind of a dusk, aka day shot of the thing rolling down the, and then cut back to a night shot of it burning, because you can't roll it down the hill in the middle of the night and not even see the spectacle. So they cut to a day shot for it rolling down the hill. There's a beautiful shot once again of dusk or dawn or whatever the hell it is for this scene. So 20 minutes in, the movie. Okay, so what's his name is gonna Peter's gonna wake up, which I think is kind of cool from a nightmare here. Huh? See Angie Brown. Look at the oof. Look at what Angie Brown's wearing there. Like she's a in this movie she's of a if she had long hair right there in that freaking negligee she's wearing there, she would have looked better than she does with the short hair. But 21 minutes in, the movie's pretty entertaining. If it could have just they look so cold. Look at their faces; they're all red. That's probably freezing right there. Kelly LeBrock, is that the chick from Weird Science? I mean, Angie Brown isn't as wouldn't be as attractive as her, but probably be a little more like, she's got kind of that Kelly LeBrock kind of face. I just wished she had longer hair in this movie. When I was 14 and I first saw this, I was like, God, the two main character girls are so not attractive. But looking at Angie Brown later on, into adulthood, I mean, she's got some curves, and like I say, her face would have been better if she had longer hair. I'll try to stop obsessing over that, but they left Angie Brown character behind only to throw some rocks. Ah! It looks like it's actually, you can't really tell on the VHS, but there you can tell it's raining. You can see the water in the that's why they're doing this plastic bag thing. They're hiding from the rain. Okay, here's a scene that's just, once again, it's just pointless. It's basically just showing the viewer that we have enough money or we know someone with the plane, so we can do this plane scene. It's kind of like maybe they just knew some guy with the plane. It's called production value. So since we know a guy with the plane, we'll put some aerial stuff in the movie. We can even have a scene in the movie of the pilot guy flying the fat ass sheriff around, only to have him say, let's just go back down. This probably ain't out here. He's probably in Palm Springs in the jacuzzi or something. It's so funny how they show the back of the pilot's head whenever the pilot, has any dialogue. Of course, you can't really do anything else. There it is. "Oh, I've never been to Palm Springs." Yeah, it'd be interesting to actually do a cut of this where you cut out all of the it'd be hard to do, though, because the end of the movie revolves so much around whatever you say, it's your nickel. It revolves so much around the quote unquote authorities, the end of the movie, the last 30 minutes, but it'd be fun to do a cut where you just cut out all the authorities. You could actually do it, you know? You could probably cut the end, cut out all the this looks like some kind of an animal face. We see this mountain more than once, that hill or whatever the hell you wanna call it. Okay, here's Miss basically face that's on the painting of the poster. Miss Painter woman in the woods with her high heel boots and the baby, not really baby, but kind of girl bouncing in her bouncing baby bouncer. So I don't know if you're still here, but you said hello twice. Hello, hello back to you. I ignored you, and I don't know if you're here, but hello, welcome. Not too amazing in the chat, but that's okay. We got rid of some running time by just having her walk back to her little. Look at those boots. That's so not Woods footwear. This woman's outfit is so pathetic. I'll give the girl in the bouncy thing a little weed. Not that kind of weed. But this is basically the woman that's on the poster artwork for the film. So basically, uh, as we just I'm reacting to the close up of the girl sloppily eating chocolate or some crap. So I first became aware of this in when I was 14, and me and my buddy at the time were making short little horror movies on a Fisher Price PXL 2000 video camera. So basically, at the end of summer in '91, when this movie was 10 years old, we embarked on making a sequel. I was a Don't Go in the Woods fan at the time, having seen this that summer for the very first time. So I wanted to do Don't Go in the Woods 2 with my buddy. The plan was to actually make it a feature. We weren't able to make it a feature. I think it's all of 40 minutes long or something, but we did our just me and him kind of Don't Go in the Woods 2, and we just played. It was just me and him playing multiple characters, multiple victims. But 10 years later in 2001, I wanted to do a remake of our Don't Go in the Woods 2, and my buddy actually was working with a coworker had like this chick who was like in her early 20s or something like that, had a twin sister. And I thought, "Oh my god, that'd be the coolest sequel for Don't Go in the Woods 2 because this girl, this baby bouncy girl gets kidnapped by the killer, and as the mom's dying here, there's the theatrical poster woman with the glasses. Bounce, bounce, bounce. This bouncy girl gets killed. Mom gets killed and gets kidnapped by the killer. So even though the killer dies at the end, I thought, well, there's probably other killers in the family, so they can, adopt the kid and raise the girl to be a mad, crazy girl in the movie, and that would be the sequel. Like the frickin' there's that mountain again. Looks like a lion face with fucked up eyes. There's the little stream that's in the Vinegar Syndrome menu, and this is the shot that's taken later on here. The shot that's the still that's taken for the Vestron Video VHS right around here. I think I think it happened earlier when he was leaning against a tree or something, right? But I'm like, how cool would that be for Don't Go in the Woods too? Like the girl's twins, the girl in this movie that gets left in the moms get killed and left in the woods and raised by the killer's family has a twin sister, and the twin sister lost her twin sister in the woods when she was young and had to deal with that her whole life, and then you know maybe she's out in the woods camping and comes across her own crazed twin sister in the movie. She could be the kind of the killer, kind of the hot female ravenous killer raised by the killers from this movie's family, which since died, and she's like the last surviving one or whatever. But they could be a showdown between that killer and the twin sister and stuff. But we never ended up making the remake of our own Don't Go in the Woods from 10 years earlier. It never came to be, but that whole aspect of my buddy knowing, or having a coworker that had a chick that had a twin sister was just really, it's like, oh wow. And she was like interested in, they were both, I don't know if they were both, but one of them was interested in being in videos and movies and stuff. So that would have been cool. I hope no one rips off my idea for Don't Go in the Woods too, but I guess if they do and I end up seeing it, I'll know. They're completely like out of focus there. I'll know it was my idea and they heard it on this commentary. Come on, Peter. Bring up the rear. Ha. Anyway, I was blabbing during the painter woman's death, but the painter woman's death was cool. Those shorts Craig's got on are perfect shorts to get walk through all kinds of poison ivy with. Oh, okay. So here's the pivotal point in the movie, 30 minutes in, where Peter just gets mad for no fucking reason. Look at that beautiful woods in the background there when Peter's storming off. So if you're watching it synced up with me, there's the woods again with Peter walking off. Yeah, I don't remember the reason Peter gets mad. I don't think it's a very good reason, but I think we cut to, yeah, dusk again and a shot of Peter. Oh, okay. So here's the random people sleeping in bags. Once again, this chick here, gonna throw a rock there. Look at that chick. Now you barely see her for just a couple seconds. I bet you anything that guy is the guy who did the voice for the trailer. But you see that chick a couple times. She's like actually kind of hot. The hottest chicks in this movie have the minimal screen time. And what's so great about these victims is we don't even introduce them before we kill them. We're just like, the way we introduce them is basically them being killed. It's just oh my god. And that chick was actually kind of like cute and attractive and stuff, and they just why, and it's almost like the cuter they are, the less they're on camera. Why couldn't she have been Cherry, the chick in the sleeping bag? It's just, it makes no sense to me, unless the director thought, in the director's opinion, the woman he picked to play Cherry was actually the most attractive woman in this movie. I'd hate to have that be the case. That's a beautiful shot of the fire there. I'd hate to think that's the case, but to each your own. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. There's a very nice dusk shot or morning shot of just whatever. God, the film quality is all ragged, but that's really cool. It adds to it adds to it. I'd hate for this movie once again to have all of the artifacts and scratches fixed, so it looks just like some digital. I mean, I don't think this could ever look like a digital movie, but I think the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray is a perfect presentation. Okay, here's what I was talking about earlier. Shot of Peter being afraid here and hearing sounds, being afraid in the woods up by himself and hearing sounds out in the woods, saying, "You better watch out. I've got this pump shotgun with the hair trigger." Okay, it looks like Peter made it through the night. It's the morning now, 32 minutes into the movie. And, it's possible that maybe the best stuff is kind of slowly getting more and more behind us. It's this movie's kind of backwards, how it's the first third of it, the first half hour is like probably the best stuff. And then maybe the second half hour is, the second best stuff, and the last half hour is just you can forget about it. It's just too bad this movie couldn't have I was just laughing at Mary Gillard's walking sideways like that. She just looked so much like she was anticipating the jump scare that ended up happening. So here we're gonna set up a little prank here between Ingrid and shit. I can't. I think Joni is the dark haired one. So Joni and Craig, I guess, are the couple in this movie, and Peter and Ingrid. I think Mary Gillarts is the redhead Ingrid, I think. But so Joni's gonna pull a prank on Craig, which is gonna be funny. Like I say, I don't know why the hell Peter he's gathering some firewood. I don't know why the hell he got all mad and stormed off. Here he is like having a fantasy about himself without a shirt, splashing Ingrid and Joni. And it's funny to actually see Mary Gill in kind of a more female type top. I think it's the only scene where we really see something like that. So I guess in Peter's ideal fantasy world, he'd have Craig die and have the two women to himself. Here comes okay, if we show that the killer is on top of Craig, here comes the guy from Close Encounters with the Third Kind. That's a fun kill too, just like the bear trap. Okay, and it's like interwoven with his fantasy. Killer cuts the guy, and I'm gonna cover up this bit where the killer like drool out of his. Okay, it's happening, but I'm covering it up. Kind of the spit out of his mouth there. So at 35 minutes in the movie, Peter sees someone be killed by the hands, and this is our first time we really see the killer. And this shot's actually cool, and the music that's going on here is kind of cool. Wah, 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 wah. Nah, 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 nah. So basically, the killer's got the this cardboard box around his shoulder, and basically, we find out later that it's the freaking little girl who's in the box, which that cardboard box wouldn't support the weight, but whatever. It's a stupid Z grade horror movie. So now we've got the romantic couple here with he's gonna teach her how to set a trap. She's gonna tell him to put some nuts underneath. Put a little more underneath. Okay, if anyone's watching this after the fact, along with the commentary, I'll sync you up here. Oh, oh, let me look. Clunk, son of a bitch. See, look at her rump there. She's got a pretty good rump at this age. She's got some coives. Angie Brown's got some coives in this movie. There's the more boring Mary Arts, I'm afraid. But yeah, Angie Brown has got some coives. uh, so as I said, I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm going to say for the last 30 minutes of this movie. That's why I hoped someone would show up and chat, but whatever. It's everyone's revenge for me not having chat enabled for the last several commentaries. They're just like, why even bother? Yeah, so I mean, I guess the quote unquote writers of this movie had to have Peter go away so the Peter could see um the killer. I don't know why they had to have Peter go away. I guess that way Peter can see the killer kill someone and can start the survival thing before they off um Joni and Craig here, which is going to happen. Well, Craig's going to be offed. Joni's. Now I got you, bitch. Say uncle. Say uncle. Say it, bag of bitch. Say it. Say uncle, say it, bag a bitch. Say uncle. As he throws the rope around the tree and hoists her up into the tree. This is so hilarious. Oh my god. So this is Craig's revenge on, is it Ingrid, for the little finger crushing joke she played on him. Oh my god, this is funny. The director's sense of humor is just kind of funny. um there's sleeping bag o vision inside, even though it'd be completely dark, but it's movie magic as she's ripping a hole and she sees what's really creepy about this scene is she's like helpless and she sees the killer approaching. So this is actually kind of cool. It's like there's someone out there. This is actually probably one of the only scenes that is a little bit almost suspenseful as she sees the killers approaching, but he's unaware of it as he spins her in the sleeping bag. I'm going to get you. Okay, Craig's gone, gets impaled by the whatever it is, the knife on the end of a stick. There goes the hand. I'm afraid a sleeping bag, at least one sleeping bag, probably more than one, were destroyed in the making of this film. Okay, so what's her name? I can't remember Mary Girl Arts' character's name anymore. Mary Girl Arts has become aware of this, the chill, blood curdling screams and stuff of Ingrid and Craig here. Craig's got his arm chopped off. That must have been so nasty to be all covered with blood like that out in the woods and just dragged through the. Yeah, I really I want to say that kind of the best stuff of the movies possibly is like happened now, and now the maybe the first half is the best half, and then second half isn't so much. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about in the last half. Um, Mary Gale Arts comes back to the campground to see all this blood. She goes running into the woods. So the last half of the movie, last half of the movie is the most boring half. And oh, here's the just the killer screaming with the shot of the sky. In a perfect world, if you're doing a movie of any budget, no budget, big budget, whatever, I would, I don't know, I guess as a movie connoisseur and a movie fan myself, and having made some videos myself, not to say that any of them were any kind of amazing, but I mean, they're, I'm talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about, stuff from teenage years and stuff. But I mean, ultimately, you want to have, if you're going to have a boring half, have it be the first half, you know? I don't know, but at that, I guess in a way, if you do the boring half of the first half, then people might not watch the second half. But I mean, if you're gonna have, I guess there's kind of a reason to have the first half be exciting. If I don't know, ultimately not have any of it be boring. I guess ultimately, as Peter comes back and Peter and God, why don't all of a sudden I can't? She's doing some horrible crying right here. Just those two lovers are reunited, and now it's Peter and Mary Gale Arts against the world. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's why I had chat enabled. I wish someone would have been here by now to start talking so we could talk for the last half of the movie, but because I really don't know what the hell I'm gonna say. Okay, so the two surviving couple find a cabin in the woods. It's just really a shame that, the last half couldn't have been a little more like the first half, then it would be even better. You know, every time I think of Don't Go in the Woods, it's like, "Oh, cool, don't go," you think of the best stuff, and then every time you watch it, you're like, "God dang, the last half is really boring, isn't it?" Obviously, I would imagine for the purposes of this movie, this ramshackle shack is was actually just pretty much, I mean, obviously, they would have dressed it for the movie, but it's probably just an abandoned shack in reality, and they just went in here and, you know, added the movie, this dressing and all this trash and sheet stuff to it. I hope they did this. It'd be creepy if it was like this for real, but they kind of, for all intents purposes, this abandoned shack is the killer's domain, is the killer's house. It stinks in there, so it must be dead corpses and bodies and stuff. It's traps as well. This is kind of funny how there's bags and oh, that's Craig. Craig, oh, here's some of Craig's corpse. Look at that guy's acting. Look at that face. And here's Mary Gale. No, 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 no. I mean, Jesus. Okay, there's the killer. When I was a kid and I saw this on VHS, I thought that was bicycle chain around his face. But having the Blu-ray now, we can clearly see it's beads. I thought that the trap for the in the killer's house was fun where they remove the rock and it makes all these pulleys go. It pulls a sleeping bag off of Craig's corpse and lifts Craig's corpse that's all, bagged up in a bag, lifts him off the ground, and it's just like it's just so funny. I mean, not for Craig, but yeah, I guess luckily, at this point in the movie, there's not a whole lot of the quote unquote authority shit in the movie. It's only the last 20 minutes or so that really goes overboard with it when these two actually make their way back to quote unquote civilization, and that's when the authority crap really, you know, kicks into high gear and really gets boring. So basically, I don't know when the hell it was, '06 or '07. The Code Red DVD came out of this, and it was the first time it ever officially, I think, came out on DVD, really. And the commentary, I would imagine that I think there was a commentary done for that DVD, I would imagine. But having listened to the commentary, apparently, which is really cool, apparently the director was able to get this 35. This was shot in 35 millimeter, and apparently was able to get the film stock really cheap because it had expired. So he was able to get the film stock at a reduced price, which was really cool. And I think the people that sold it to him said, "Well, we can't. This stuff might be crap. It might be useless. It might be this or might be that." But as you can see, if you've got any version of this movie, or if you're watching it along with me, or if you've seen it before, and if you've got the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, I mean, there's some anomalies here and there, but I mean, it adds to the freaking movie, in my opinion. For the most part, I mean, the film stock was absolutely wonderful and in really great shape. But what a deal to actually get kind of reduced 35 millimeter stock at a reduced price because the film stock was expired. And here, for whatever reason, the killer's famous jingle stick ends up in a tree, and this one hiker grabs it and starts taking it. I think this is a funny funny bit here they set up where basically Peter is gonna kill actually does one of the murders in this movie. Ah! As he stabs, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." As he stabs. I guess. Ingrid! Oh, that's her name. Ah! So, Peter probably didn't kill the guy, he just he did the first stab, and then the killer probably finished him off with the second spear thing, but that was just funny. Oh my god. Nice little stream there. You can see on the right side of that shot, that red thing that was flashing kind of at a in a steady pace. That was probably a result of the expired film stock, I would think. Every now and then on the side, right there too, in the water there on the right side there, you can see that reoccurring red, and same here too. That's probably a defect of the expired film stock, but I mean, who cares? I mean, look at you get the point across. Look at the majority of the frame, it looks fine. And in case anyone I don't anyone listens to this after the fact and is wondering, I've never seen the Vincent D'Onofrio Don't Go in the Woods. I guess I'd be open to seeing it for free. I'm not exactly sure what the deal with it is or whatever, but it's kind of interesting that he did something. And who knows? I mean, if you're listening to this and have seen it, and let me know what you think of it in the comments. Maybe there's aspects about it that are good. I don't know. As Joni finds a body here in a campsite. Near, 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 near. Who knows? Maybe there's aspects to Vincent D'Onofrio's Don't Go in the Woods that are. You don't have to make a movie that good to be better than this one, I guess. Because I was like, yeah, come to think about it, you know, maybe it's better than this one. I don't know. I don't think I've really ever looked for it on YouTube. Maybe it's free on YouTube. They do a decent job at making them look all worn down and dirty and stuff. Pretty soon they're gonna come across civilization. Ingrid and I think that's her name. I remembered. Ingrid and Peter. Oh, okay. I guess not that day. Here's at night. Got a fire going once again. Beautiful fire shot. That's the one thing that, and for my money, in my opinion, it would have been nice to have maybe a little more nighttime fire scenes in this movie in focus. This one's so far in focus. Is it just this one main shot for the scene? Probably then it ends, I bet. Close up of the fire there. Oh wow, okay, so it's kind of a close up that's in focus with the fire in the foreground. Peter is keeping guard over Ingrid as the morning approaches. Now look at that. There's actually you could see some the water was frozen on those pieces of tree whatever. So there must have been some cold weather out there when they were doing this because there was ice on part of whatever. Huh? There's another one of Mary Gale Arts' Hans. So about 53 minutes into the movie, Ingrid and Peter find their way to quote unquote civilization. This is when the movie really starts to go downhill. Yeah, I don't know if it was even any point for me to do this commentary. I don't know if anyone's going to listen to it, but whatever, I'm doing it. It's like they just almost spray painted Ingrid's shirt just to make it look all dirty and rat tattered and run down. Okay, now we're entering, Jan's Snoozeville now as we see a cop car approach a building. Okay, Fatso comes into the building. It's nice to know this guy's in charge. Some girl in the wheelchair waves to the Fatso and looks right at camera. It's kind of funny for the movie Don't Go in the Woods how this cafeteria setting has the woods scenery in the on the wall. So even when they're indoors, it's like a woods background. Uh, and once again, like some of the woman in the background is kind of attractive, but make her the main star. It's just like they picked the most boring people to be the stars. Yeah, so here's this nurse with the classic early 80s hairdo. It would maybe, it would have been nice maybe if she'd been Ingrid or something. That look she gives of yeah, it's funny seeing that light switch in the woods there. It's just light switch hovering in the woods on the woods picture on the wall there, the cafeteria. Dr. Maggie. God, I sure wish you hadn't come in. You made me stand up out of politeness. It's not easy for me to stand up. Dr. Maggie, I don't know. Uh, that guy's kind of, yeah, I can't, I've seen him in something else. I can't remember what it was. I don't think he had a huge part. I don't remember. But the deputy guy was in something else that I saw. Okay, so already we're about 55 minutes into the movie, and Peter's gonna go back out. This shot's kind of cool where he's crossing the road and running into the wild, back into the wild in his rat tattered clothes. He doesn't even bother to change clothes before he runs back into the woods, but he's determined to, I don't know what, go find Joni and Craig, I guess. He's not content to just sit by and let the quote unquote authorities handle it. Speaking of Joni, there she is. It's funny how her pants get dirty, clean as the movie progresses. This is kind of gross where she's like trying to eat bits and pieces out of this candy bar wrapper. Yeah, it's gonna keep you alive. Joni has been reduced to an animal as she forages for this water out of the stream and what she can get out of the candy bar wrapper. Once again, beautiful woods scenery on a sunny day there. It'd be cool to actually have like a soundtrack of the music, quote unquote music from Don't Go in the Woods, because it is a big part of my growing up. It's just like, as much as you want to make fun of it, it's classic stuff. And I think some of that, when they're running for their lives and it's going like down, 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 down. I can remember being 14 and being actually like, God, that really does kind of make the scenes a little more, I don't know, just creepy, and having that noise just, getting more quick kind of makes you anxious, like near, 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 near. So I mean, it's not like it's incompetent music or anything, or instrumentation or whatever the hell you want to call it. So now Joni is coming across the killer's shack in the woods. Now as an audience, we know what's up with this. Once again, she's got like completely laundered clean pants again. The viewer, if the viewer is still watching, at this point knows what's up with the shack, and the people in the one person in the audience is yelling at the screen, "No, don't go in there! Don't go in there! Don't go in the shack in the woods." But as we can see, Angie Brown's got some boobage going on with no bra and kind of a nice rump, and okay, she's gonna trip this trip the trip line that sprinkles her with leaves. Okay, so now she's seeing the cardboard box jiggle. She's gonna have a look inside and react like this. Oh my god. And it's kind of creepy how, we don't as a viewer yet know what she sees. We won't know until the end of the movie. Killer's gonna machete her to bits. And it's so freaking, hard to get out of there because there's like sleeping bags hanging all over the place. It's hard to escape, which is actually kind of realistic. I think she pulls aside. Does she see another victim as the killer is chopping asleep? Oh, she doesn't see a victim. She's trying to get out the window as her back is beginning to be chopped. Ooh, her star shirt is being chopped. Chop. Ooh, that must have been just nasty being all covered with that blood. This last this last shot of her just sitting there is kind of funny. Look at it's just like, okay, get the footage and cut so I can get in the shower. There's a nice shot of the stream. That is actually a really nice shot. There's Craig going back into the wild to hopefully save Joni because he wants to make his threesome come true as he tests out the stick, making sure it's hard enough. Oh, okay, here we go. Is this the very first time the victim? You could just see him using his legs there, by the way, and he put him back on the wheelchair things. But this is the introduction of the famous wheelchair hiker from Don't Go in the Woods. Dun, dun, wow, wow. Dun, dun, wow, 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 wow. Okay, so we introduced him and did a little joke where he took a break and he was starting to wheel back as the fat porker is driving into the woods. We'll come back to him every now and again, see his hiking in the woods in the wheelchair exploits, which I think every time we see him is some kind of humorous situation. It's funny because I just watched this like a week ago, and when he falls out of the wheelchair later on, the thing, how some of them wheelchairs fold up? The thing folds up on its own when he falls out. It's really I didn't think I really ever noticed that before. Okay, here's some of the boring shit with the deputy getting together the old we've seen in so many movies already at this point, like Grizzly and stuff, getting the towns folk, the guys with the guns and the woodsy guys together to go hunt down the killer and try to find the remaining people and stuff. It's just so funny seeing this fat sheriff. I don't know why the hell they picked. I guess it's just kind of a joke. This guy's in charge. Yeah, I'm not saying that the next 20 minutes are going to be easy as we're like an hour and 2 minutes in. You can see there on the left side of the frame the red thing, that shot of them go walking in the woods, that red splotch that would, kind of repeating, like blip, 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 probably a result of the expired film stock. But, as I've already said, the majority of the movie looks just fine. And any of those anomalies, honestly, they add to the griminess, grunginess of the movie and make it better, in my opinion. Not they don't they're not they're They're not able to make the movie much better, but it just adds to the grittiness of it. I think when the DVD came out in 2006 or whenever it came out, there was talk of, "Oh, wheelchair guy. Oof, oof. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow." Okay, here's the bit where he's gonna trying to go up the hill, and then I think, yeah, no, the wheelchair completely folds up there, which is funny. This will be a good opportunity to sync up if you're watching along. I don't know what I was saying before that happened. I'm sure it was really important. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are officially in some of the most boring aspects of the movie, but we'll try to make it through here. Oh, this is funny. The deputy's like, "Hey, hey, over here, this way." And we just see this one guy. Okay. He's gonna contribute. Oh god. This movie's so ridiculous. Wouldn't it be something to see this in the theater with? Oh, yeah. We're looking at Sheriff Guy just looking around. It's almost like director guy just did it on purpose, just I don't know, just put all the fun stuff in the first half, and then as the movie just wears on, it just gets painfully boring. Just painfully boring. Oh, I think I was talking about when the DVD came out in '06 or whatever. There was talk about, possibly some kind of Don't Go in the Woods 2 from the director of this first film, and it would have been cool if that would have happened, even if it would have been digital, it just would have been cool to see just something else, from you know, from the guy who gave us Don't Go in the Woods, a second attempt, but alas, that hasn't happened and probably won't. I don't even know if the guy's still with us. That's okay. I guess, Vincent D'Onofrio gave us a Don't Go in the Woods. The more I think about it, the more I'm actually kinda curious about it. Maybe I'll see if it's on YouTube or Tubi or something. If anyone's listening to that, no one ever barely says anything in comments on my commentaries, but if anyone actually does by chance listen to this and has seen it or knows where I can watch it for free, please let me know. So basically, Sheriff Guy, as we're suffering through the last 20 minutes of this movie, Sheriff Guy is now very slowly finding, all by himself, all alone, coming across the killer's abode here. Got gun drawn, slowly making his way. Hello, the cabin! Slowly making his way towards the killer's abode. And now at the entrance, yeah, this is why I was hoping there'd be someone in the chat to talk about other things at this point in the movie, but that's okay. I will say the set dressing of the killer's cabin slash shack is really authentic. Like, hanging all that crap around and all these, you know, probably camper victims' credit cards and this or that, and just hanging, whatchamacallit, sleeping bags from the ceiling and stuff, and just bags and just this and that from the ceiling really gives it this creepy kind of claustrophobic aspect as we see a backpack there, a camper's backpack, as the movie's just wasting time here trying to achieve the running time requirement. He sees an axe there. Oh, Joni's body comes out, and his reaction here is just so funny how it's just like kind of a non-reaction. Oh, just a body. Ooh, ooh. So now he's pulling the body. Deputy arrives. Found one. Yeah, I think we're just getting started. Give me a hand. I'm gonna yank this girl on out of here. So now we see Peter in his ripped up pink shirt with his spear. He's at the cabin as well, and he's seeing them take Joni out, Joni's dead corpse out of there. Look at the beautiful sunny day. Oh, wheelchair guy. Wow, 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 wow. Was it just that one shot of him? Oh my god. Oh. Once again on the left there, you can see that pulsing red. Isn't it something that this movie was shot on 35 millimeter? I mean, it's just something. When arguably a much better movie by the name of Texas Chainsaw Massacre from '74 was filmed on 16 millimeter, which makes it no less of a movie. I mean, it's obviously still a great movie, and the 16 millimeter really adds to it. As a matter of fact, I mean, this movie would probably be. I mean, sometimes the shots look like 16 millimeter. Sometimes it almost does looks like 16 millimeter. This is a movie that actually would probably do better in 16, but the 35 is pretty. The 35 looks like 16 millimeter most of the time in this movie anyway. There's the jiggling. You could barely see it. It was so far away, but the jiggling cardboard box in the middle of the woods with the. I mean, you've seen the movie. I can say I've already said it. The little girls in the cardboard box. Yeah, we all knew this is how the fan commentary would end. Just I don't know what the hell to say. Oh, but yeah, if you did it, you just do a fan cut and just cut all of this boring shit out of these just hunter and redneck guys going through the woods. Okay, finally, here's wheelchair guy coming to he's to top of the hill and mission accomplished. What a view. Cuts the head right off. That's so funny. And then all of a sudden, it's nighttime when the wheelchair goes tumbling down the hill. So I guess there is a reason to watch, the whole movie to see if you didn't watch the whole movie, you wouldn't see the wheelchair guy's antics and his decapitation. Here's Dr. Maggie out in the field. See, you can totally tell there it's 35 because it's just so sharp in people's faces especially if you're watching the Blu-ray. These men can't go another step without some sleep. There's a shot of the moon. I don't know if there's digital wolves here or not. Probably, I don't know if it's every time you see the moon. So there's Ingrid, and she's kind of she took a did she took a machete and walked away into the woods herself, didn't she? I think she looks at camera here, right? No, wait, does she look at camera? Yeah, it's coming up, ain't it? Right there. Yep. Oh God, Mary Gale. Next day, I think it's the final day. Oh God, look at oh man, that's a beautiful shot of the woods. Jesus. Okay, there's Killer taking the cardboard box. Look at how light that is. There's no kid in there. That aspect of the movie is really kind of cool, though, that he basically adopted the little girl and apparently is, you know, cares about her. Very careful when he puts her down. When he puts the cardboard box she lives in down on the ground, he's careful. All right. Well, it wasn't too horrible. We're almost to the end here as Peter is out of focus. Peter is sharpening his stick. He's gonna need it sharp in a moment as Killer is gonna get the drop on him. I imagine that's him doing his own roll down the hill there. I don't know for sure. Oh, here it comes. Peter, no! Ah! Ingrid and her machete. Okay, so Peter's gonna put some weeds in his shirt. That's pretty clever. No! Ah, Peter! When I was 14, I just couldn't fathom why the guy who made this movie made Mary Gill like a lead in this. I'm just like, "Oh my god." And then you've got these hot chicks that appear for a few seconds. "How do you like this sphere, motherfucker?" They appear for a few seconds and just die. Alright. Peter and Ingrid reunited. Killer with a spear in his shoulder. He's gonna snap snap it out, and he's gonna attack him just when he thought it was over. I guess there's not all that terribly much of boringness, but you know, let's be honest. I mean, the last 20 minutes is the last you could say the last half of it is definitely the least entertaining half of the movie. There's the killer cutting some weeds down there. Killer's got the machete and he's gonna get him. He rolls down the hill and just in range. Ingrid's gonna grab the machete and join in. Look at that, just look of nothing. Ugh! Ugh, stab him. Ugh. That's pretty violent there. They've obviously got some probably, piece of wood or something under his clothes there they can stab. You can see the machete like just bend into the side. There's the cardboard box jiggling. The mystery of the cardboard box. Eh, 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 eh. Okay, now we reveal the girls in the cardboard box, and while they're hacking up the killer, the girl's hacking the ground with a hatchet. That's why I thought it'd be so cool for the sequel for the little girl to grow up wild in the wilderness, and she can become the killer of Don't Go in the Woods too, and have a twin sister that ends up finding her. So you'd have the wild twin sister and the quote unquote city twin sister, and they can meet and have a confrontation at the end. And I never bothered to figure out how it ended, but that could be the premise. I'd probably do some nasty Hills, original Hills Have Eyes, aka original Last House on the Left, kind of just ending that's not happy. Maybe they kill each other in a struggle or something. It's so funny how that deputy is like, cute couple, and they're just like miserable. And they walk off in their blankets. I don't know where they're even. It's funny how they just let them walk away. Some authorities. Oh, I guess they're following the other people going down the hill. Do we see that little girl? I think we see that little girl again with yeah, sitting by the cardboard box. See, the way they're setting this up to me, it just means like she's going to be the killer in Don't Go in the Woods too. She's going to grow up in the woods and she'll be the next killer. All right, the end. I don't know if anyone's going to listen to this, but there we go. Fan commentary, Nate watching of Don't Go in the Woods as we see the cast. Angie Brown once again with the box around her name. This is where the famous song is playing. Don't go out in the woods tonight. You probably will be thrilled. Don't go out in the woods tonight. You probably will be killed. There's a friendly beast who lurks about, who likes to feast. You won't get out without being killed and chopped up in little pieces. And then you can just repeat that again, and that's the song. But definitely a classic, classic staple of my teenage years, and I grew up. I continued to grow old with Don't Go in the Woods, and was thrilled in '06, or I think it was '06 when the first official DVD came out, and really thrilled when was it 2015? I can't remember when the wasn't that terribly long ago when the Blu-ray came out. Thanks a lot to Vinegar Syndrome for coming out with the Blu-ray. Was really thrilled when the Blu-ray came out, and we only had one person show up in chat and say hello twice, and I guess that was the contribution from chat. But we made it through the last half of the movie even without conversation in chat. So I guess that pretty much does it for Nate watching Don't Go in the Woods. Thank you very much for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.